And welcome back. We are here with the Gotham Sound Expo 2024, and we are ready to Zoom with Zoom. So today we are here with Samuel. Pleasure, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming by.
Absolutely. No, thank you for being here, man. We appreciate your time. So you've got the H series, which are new, and I want to start there, man.
Sure.
This has got some really great features. I love the screen on here, so tell us all about it.
Right on. So Zoom's been doing our H series handy recorder since 2007. There's been a couple generations, and we did a big thing. First time we've ever replaced 3 of them at one time, upgrading them all to 32-bit float systems, which means that with our inputs, our XLR TRS inputs, there's no chance of clipping. You can't record too low. Microphones, they each have an individual SPL limit, but other than that, you'll be able to raise and lower the volume after you record as much as you'd like to because of that 32-bit float recording. And then some new industrial design for each. So it starts with the H1 Essential, which just has 2 stereo mics on top, plus an 1/8-inch input on the side that you can use with a lavalier mic or anything like that. This runs on 2 AAA batteries and records to an SD card up to 1 terabyte. You could use it as an audio interface as well. So this is your pocket, have it with you everywhere. Just really simple to use.
Like,
it's smaller than your hand.
Yeah, it's just loud.
There's no setting and gain. You just put in the SD card and the batteries and hit record, and you're going to be recording great audio. Up from there, you go to the H4 Essential, which are the 4 channels. So you've got your 2 XY microphones on top, plus 2 XLR TRS inputs on the bottom that you can use, record all 4 tracks at the same time. You're in 32-bit float, so there's no gain setting, but there is a mixer you can go into to mix for the stereo mix that's recorded, and also for your headphone output at the same time. This one also adds the option to use our Bluetooth wireless adapter and be able to connect to an iOS wireless control app, as well as a wireless timecode currently compatible with the Atmos timecode system.
Very nice. So you're incorporated with Atmos now. Is that just only for that?
It's just for the H4 Essential and the
H4
H6 Essential.
Okay,
yep.
Understood.
And actually in the F3 we'll talk about.
Okay.
And then you go up to the F6, which is the 6 channel. So you've got your 2 mics up top. Like the old H6, it's a capsule that can be removed, but a new capsule system to support 32-bit float, no gain dial on there. We'll have a shotgun capsule available and a capsule with 2 extra XLR TRS inputs, allowing you to get 6 going in. You could even supply phantom power to that input if you get separate USB power going to it.
Very nice. So each input now has phantom power?
Yes.
With an additional 2 that you can add, or just 1?
Yeah. No, you'll be able to do all 4 of those with phantom plus the additional 2 with phantom.
So 6. That's amazing. Yeah.
On this one, you have 2 outputs. You have the headphone output plus a line output if you wanted to go out to a camera. The wireless control. All these can also be used as USB audio interfaces, and that is with PC or Mac, but also with mobile. And if you wanted to be recording video on your iPhone and you want to be using the audio from one of these recorders, you just hook up over USB and use this as the audio input into the video you're capturing with the iPhone.
Absolutely.
Which you could absolutely do. The other thing I'll mention about all 3 of these is this is the first time we've put in a accessible system for blind and low vision users, which is a voice guidance system that allows, that reads every single menu, gives you record status, works when you're operating the mixer, works for every step of using the recorder. When you buy it, it's actually the first thing you see when you power it on. So if you want to turn that on, that way somebody who is blind or low vision, right from the bat, you put the batteries in, you could use the recorder. And that's something we've put in all 3 of these recorders that we're really proud of.
So it's amazing. So we have blind accessibility, a vocal readout for the entire menu.
Yeah.
So yeah, really great stuff for you guys. Kudos for that.
And we just actually this week released an update for that, and there are more updates coming for that. So
can you tell us a little bit about the update?
Yeah. So there were a couple of comments we got back after we released the system. One was that you have to go into the menu to turn it on and off.
Okay.
And so if you happen to turn it off, it's very difficult to get to the process to turn it on. So now there's a shortcut, which is holding the enter button, which will turn that system on and off very easily for you. That way it doesn't have to be on all the time. You could turn it off if you're just hitting record and stop and you don't want to be hearing the readouts. The other thing is that our arming buttons give you a beep, but you couldn't tell if you were arming or disarming. So we added a voice readout so you know what's going on when you're arming the tracks. So just little things like that to make that system work even better for people. And we got the list of some more stuff that we're hoping to implement to make that even better.
Nice.
So question from online.
Right.
Roberto Paris wants to know, is Zoom working on an upgrade for the FRC8 and the F8N Pro?
So a common question, because we did discontinue our FRC8 hardware mixer that worked with the F8M Pro and the F6. As of right now, there's nothing I can tell you about that's going to be replacing that FRC8. But something we are hearing from our consumers and we are considering.
Okay.
Was it a one-part question or was it two?
It was a two-part question, kind of. Are there any updates for the FRC8, which you asked? And what
then
about the F8M?
Pro? Generally we don't talk about what's coming down the line, but the F8M Pro is a current product, and right now it's running pretty solid. I'll say that.
So then tell us a little bit more about the F-Series. We've got the F2, 3, 6, and 8N Pro.
Sure. So we'll start with the F2 real quickly. This is our body pack recorder. Comes with the lav mic with a few windscreens and the clip. Very, very small, obviously, right in your hand like that. And this is one that you could lav somebody up, put it in their pocket, hit record, and come back later. It records 32-bit float, so there's no need to set the gain. Just turn it on. And hit the record button, turn it to hold so no button gets hit, and leave it on the person, come back later for that audio.
Yeah, I mean, that's super tiny as well, too. You can put that in any pocket, super easy to read, so yeah, great product there.
And this comes in two versions. This is the F2 Bluetooth, which will allow you to connect wirelessly with iPhone, or also you could do that wireless Bluetooth timecode as well with the Atmos system. But you can control and hit record and everything from your app.
I'm sorry.
Up from there, we go to the F3, and this is our 2-input field recorder. So this, and the whole F-Series, these are the best preamps that Zoom offers, metal bodies, that upgraded feel from what you would get in the handy recorder on all the F-Series. So the F3 here, you've got 2 XLR inputs that you could use. On just your power, your wireless control that you could use with our BTA1 Bluetooth adapter, a headphone and line output, and then your menu buttons over here, USB port, you can use it as an audio interface if you wish. But 32-bit float recording, so there's no gain setting, just adjusting your mix with the couple buttons you got there on the screen.
Right.
And it's an incredibly small size, whether you're using it with a boom pole, mounted with the camera as a kind of a plant mic recorder type of thing. I love talking to the sound designers that will have, a 16 mic set up over here to record a gunshot, and then take something like an F3 and put it 200 yards that way to get the the echo ambient bouncing off the mountain coming over there.
Yeah.
So really a lot of great use for such a small recorder like the F3.
Yeah. Shout out to Watson Wu.
Watson Wu, that's the man.
He does really great work with the sound effects
absolutely
stuff. It's really cool.
So F6 here, you go up to 6 inputs. There we go. 3 on each side, XLR inputs. You've got a few powering options. One is the AA's, one is the USB port, and then you could also put a Sony L-Series battery back here, any capacity to do that. You've got your SD card slot back there as well. All that power is auto switching, USB, L-Series, and AA's, so it will automatically go to the next. You won't lose any recording, and you can, if it switches to AA's, switch out your L-Series.
Right, yeah,
and go all that good stuff. Your knobs for mixing in the front there. And these record up to 192K, where the H-Series only records up to 96. So if that's something that's important to you, you want to be looking at the F-Series for the 192K.
So there's some distinction there, 96K to 192.
Yeah.
So speaking of recording, Kahan wants to know, do any of these recorders have dual media recording, so recording to 2
So
at once?
only one of them does, and it's our last one that we're going to be talking about, which is the F8N Pro. So this is the 3rd generation of our F8, and it's always been the same exact size box, but the tech inside has been updated every time. So this is an 8-input combo inputs on here, 4 on each side, 4 output, 2 main outputs on mini XLRs or TA3s. Sub out is an 1/8 inch, but you could split that signal if you need, and then you've got your headphone output as well. This is definitely our most fully featured for production use. You do have dual SD card slots, so you're always recording the backup. You've got time code on BNCs. Should have mentioned time code generator is built into the F6, and there's an 1/8 inch in and out. But on the F8N, you've got the in and out on BNCs there. For power, you've got an AC power situation, Hiroshi. And then the AA batteries that can go in the bottom, again, auto switching as you need.
And the DC in as well, right?
Yep,
So,
you have DC, AA, and your Hiroshi there.
yeah. So yeah, Hiroshi very important to us, just to have that redundant power, multiple
Absolutely.
options. So yeah, it's
Right,
great.
and you could be switching that out while the AA's are running the show. So good working like that. This also has a slate mic and slate tone, which is a nice feature on here.
And the toggle, yeah.
The toggle right
yeah.
there. Again, up to 192, 32-bit float on here, which was the update when we went to the F8M Pro, adding that 32-bit float system in there. But there is also 24-bit built into the F6 and the F8. You can actually do dual 32-bit float and 24-bit
Very
at
cool.
the same time.
Is there any updates incoming for the application, for the BootSafe app?
For the app on here, none that I'm aware of on the schedule.
Okay.
But that app will work with this. The Bluetooth is built into the F8. Whereas the F6 and the F3, you do need the adapter to use their control apps.
Okay. Well, cool. I think that about wraps it up. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for stopping
Samuel.
by.
Man.
Thank you, everybody.
I want to make sure we didn't have any other questions. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you soon.
This episode was brought to you by the letter Z. Z for Gotham Sound.